I want to share with you a little today. One of the principles we'll be using as a kind of guiding tool in our collective care space, and that's the consent and closeness matrix that I made, maybe 2 years ago now. And my idea was to try to describe what it is we are moving from and what we want to move to. And we want to move from this sense of someone else knows what's best for us. That can look like paternalism if it's like feels warm or close, and it can feel like authoritarianism, which I'm sorry is hard to see on here with my picture. If there is maybe more distance or less warmth, this area is low consent and high control. And then if you move over here, you get to start moving into the self-trust space of you know what's best for you. So for yourself, that would be, I know what's best for me, and that you can be in spaces relationships with other people who believe the same thing, that you know what's best for you. That leads to radical acceptance on the warmer or closer side, and radical autonomy on the more distance or space side. And both of these are things that you need, and we need in relationship to each other, right? The goal is to be on this side of the matrix to some extent. And it's okay if you're going back and forth or up and down or all around, depending on what you need at the moment. The idea is that there is high consent and low control. The low control doesn't mean anarchy. It means we are being considerate and realizing our interdependence and asking for consent. So that is going to be some of the things that we really value and want to implement in this collective care space. I'll give you a little bit more detailed view of this. So when you start adding in more things, you have the same matrix, and then a little bit more about each of these. So paternalism may have covert manipulation, helicopter parenting, patronizing. It may feel cloying or smothering. It can feel like charity, or pity, and the sense that the person in charge there needs you to be okay for them to be okay, and they need you to be okay in the way that they want you to be okay, right? So this idea that the authority knows best. And then down at authoritarianism, that might look like power and control, techniques or tactics, values, domination, exploitation, extraction, demand for loyalty and obedience. And then when we move to this self-trust and trusting others to know what's best for them as well, we move to radical acceptance, which might look like collective care, feeling seen and heard, being aware of our interconnectedness, valuing empowerment and equity, and realizing the inherent worth and value in all beings and trying to live from that reality. And then radical autonomy, having a voice, knowing you matter and you have choices. You're able to have healthy boundaries or learn and practice to have them. You can have self-agency, which means you can have an effect on your life and where you're going, and self-determination, which means you get to decide where you're going, what you're doing. You get to be the hero of your own life, basically. I hope this gives you some idea of what we are going for, what we're going to be working towards in the collective care space, just as we explore and get to know one another and explore our passions and desires together, where we can be more fully in this space as individual people and collectively, and that those two things go together. If you have any more questions, please reach out or visit catherinequeering.com/collective care for more information. I hope to see you there.